Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Eric Wolf, and I am the Executive Director and Founder of the World Food Travel Association. And I am pleased to introduce our second session at the 2024 FoodTreX Global Online Summit. Today, we're going to be looking at Croatia as a case study for creating intangible cultural heritage products from gastronomy. And with us today is Petra Barišić. Barišić, sorry, Barišić.
Barišić. Yes, it was perfect.
You know, I'm going to become an expert on
Oh,
that by the time the session is over. Anyway, and Petra is an expert on this particular topic, and she is a wonderful addition to the summit lineup. And when I saw her expertise, I said we have to get Petra to speak at the summit today. So, Petra, I will go ahead and turn off my video and turn things over to you. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you very much, Eric. Thank you all for joining, and those who will watch video later. Also, don't hesitate to interrupt me with any question. So I work as the university professor at the Faculty of Economics and Business, and I teach tourism. And one of the parts of tourism, of course, is gastronomy, which is really, really important.
Dat we niet 100% zeker zijn dat hij een goede match is in de tv. Kan ook de
Okay,
tv.
I will just, okay, I mute somebody. Hi Liz, hi Katie, hi Jason, hi Amy. I hope that I pronounced good your names. Well, as I said, the gastronomy is really important part of tourism, and some tourist destination really can build their the image and identity of some destination based on the gastronomy. So Croatia is definitely one of those countries. Well, I do first. First, I will give you the overview of the Croatian special gastronomy dishes, and I will tell you what is important in Croatian gastronomy, because when tourists come to Croatia and they try our food, they are really thrilled, and they are asking where I have been. Why didn't I know? Because it's so delicious, and the food is really, really typical, even though there is a history legacy of some other nations that affected the Croatian gastronomy. But first, what I will do, I will tell you about the some particularities about Croatian food, and then I will present you the research that I have been doing with the colleague of mine about the intangible cultural heritage and how actually the gastronomy is important in this intangible cultural heritage, and are they tourists even aware of the of those these dishes that are really typical and that made the typical gastronomy of some country. I really have interesting case, so I will share this video. For those who are not familiar where the Croatia is, and this is just fine, because Croatia is a really small country in the I should say central, but Eastern Europe, Central Eastern Europe, and it is a really important tourist destination on the Mediterranean, because we have plenty of tourists from the rest of the Europe. The main source markets are Austrians, Italians, Germans, Slovenians, also Scandinavians, as well the people from Great Britain. So we are really important tourist destination for the rest of the Europe, because Croatia is really safe country. As well, it is still, if we look about the prices, it's still reachable. It's not too expensive, especially for the Western countries. And we have really gorgeous gastronomy. And it is really heterogeneous. And as you can see, Croatia is a really small country, but each region has different cuisine. This is something that is not so common, but each region in Croatia has different cuisine, because different part of the country were, this is not nice what I will say, but it was under the occupation of other countries. We are a small country, and we had invaders from rest of the Europe, not just from Europe. Okay, from Turkey as well. Turkey is part of Europe as well. So since this is small country, we have less than 4 million people. So we have plenty of invaders, and it means that when there is a different influence of different countries. So, and it's dating back to ancient times. So I will just say something to my daughter, because she's making a laugh of me. Hana, molim te prestani. Okay. Mainland, I don't know, will you see the, okay, yes, you can see it. So this is the continental part. This part, especially this eastern part, was under the, okay, you can't see it. Okay, eastern part of the Croatia was typically Slavic. From the north, then there was the Hungarian, who were invading Croatia. Then we had the Austrians and their monarchy, and then we have Turks from the south. This is what happened in the coastal, in the mainland, and then on the coastal part, there is a very huge influence of Greek, Roman cuisine as well, and the Mediterranean cuisine, typically Italian, the Venetian style cuisine. So the cuisine at the coast is completely different than the cuisine at the mountain part of the Croatia, and completely different from the eastern part. So these are, we should actually say, three completely different types of the cuisines. So if you come to Croatia as a tourist, in each part of the country you will be served different typical food. It doesn't mean that in capital you can't find all three types. But if you come to the coastal part, probably you can't try the dishes from the eastern part of the Croatia, because it just won't happen, because they don't use this kind of the ingredients, and the type of the preparing food is completely different. In the Mediterranean part of the Croatia, the ingredients are mainly olive oil, olives, seafood, oysters, truffles, veggies, rosemary, thyme, and this kind of the spices. And if you look the cuisine from the eastern part of the country, then you can observe that they are using a lot of black pepper, garlic. Also, garlic is used in Mediterranean part. Garlic, then pork fat. I don't encourage eating meat, but this is something that is really typical for Croatia. Then also red paprika. So in the eastern part, the food is really heavy. It's like very heavy and strong, full of grease, I should say, as well. Also in the mountain region, they are in the eastern part, they prefer to eat pork, and in the mountain region, then there are people like potatoes, cabbage, lamb. Also in the Mediterranean, lamb is something that is really important. Prosciutto from this as well. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not eating animal products, so but since I'm presenting you the something that is typical for Croatia, my obligation is to share this with you as well. So as I said, but each part of the Croatia, even though eastern part, central part, or coastal part, there are typical dishes. So on the left, where you can see Dubrovnik, this is really typical sweets, rožata. It is something that is made out of eggs, milk, and this sauce with sugar and milk as well. So actually this is really typical just for that part of the Croatia. So we have typical cheese, like paški cheese. This is cheese that is made just in island of Pag.
Okay.
Croatia is a country where we have more than 1,000 islands. So each island has its own typical dishes. So this island of Pag is island where goats, not goats, sorry, sheeps are growing, and they collect the milk from the sheep, and this typical paški sir, cheese from Pag, is made out of this cheese. Or this you can see city of Zagreb. City of Zagreb, we have like gibanica, this also sweet pastry cake is called gibanica. It is the filling is this black one is from poppy. So this is something also very typical from Istria. Here you can see the pljukanci with truffles. It means special pasta, a homemade pasta made with hands. And the truffles that are growing in the woods in Istria. These are woods that are very they have plenty of moisture there because of river Mirna gives that moisture, and we have special dogs which have been trained to dig out the truffles from the ground. So it is something really typical for this part of the Croatia, for Istria. You can't find truffles in other parts of the country. Or fish that has salted fish that has been put in salt for a few months and taken out, or some stews with veal. Or lika. This is typical, very typical dish for the lika lamb. Or this is not lamb. Maybe this is something different. I have no idea. Some kind of meat, maybe lamb, and the potatoes. So the because lika was really this is the central part where there are huge mountains, Velebit, Dinara, Kamešnica, and rest. And the people were really poor back in days before 21st century. In 19th century, that was the poorest part of the Croatia. So the people were growing the potatoes, and they were surviving due to potatoes. So this is something that remained in these days as well. We have really special potato. We know it like potato from Lika because this is special type of the potato, and its taste is really sweet. It's different. You can't buy it in the supermarket, and probably the reason is because the soil in that part is different. So this is really typical for this part of the Croatia. And the potato, we are talking about something that is really simple food, but the taste is delicious. And in central Croatia, on this plate you can see typical Easter for breakfast for the Easter. So fresh onion, cheese, cow cheese, and ham. So, and in Slavonia also something really typical, but it's called čobanac, but I will talk about it a bit later. So as I said, we have plenty of islands, and one of the islands is Vis. This is really beautiful and gorgeous island, and it has some differences than the rest of the islands. Actually, each island is different. You can't find two same islands in Croatia. Also, it's hard to find similar islands because the topography is different, the beaches are different, gastronomy is different. Also, the language, they're of the words is different. So on the island of Vis, we have this komija flatbread. Actually, we call it pogača. This is the term. It is also not so complicated a dish. Earlier, when I was eating when I was eating fish, I prepare it. It's nothing too complicated. It's dough, very simple dough, and there is a filling, and the filling is something that gives this specific taste. The filling is made of the onion, fish, anchovies or sardines, salted one, then the olives, and it's pretty much it. It's simple because these are simple dishes, but and really tasty. The simplicity is something that is important in Croatian cuisine, because in the ancient times, not so in ancient times, also a few decades ago, we were not a rich country. We are not rich even now, but we are getting better and better due to tourism as well. Tourism in Croatia is really important part of the Croatian economy. Maybe I should say even too important, more than also actually almost 20% of the Croatian economy is based on the tourism, and Croatia and the tourism is bringing almost 20% of the GDP. So we are really dependent on the tourism. So this dish is simple because people were back those days, people were fishermen. They were collecting fish from the sea. Even in that time, we had much more fish than we have now, and we can say that we have a small problem with it, but it means that we need to think about a more sustainable way of living as well. So this is really typical taste of this flatbread, and when it's done, you put olive oil atop, and then you can eat it. Soparnik is also really typical, and this recipe is included in the register of items with protected geographical indication. It means that is something that is, the procedure is different because it's made with dough, really flat dough, filled with the chard. So it's a light dish, and there should be like sticks, very long sticks, because this should be this size, and you put it on an open fire. The name is common, and then you bake it in the open fire, put the ash on the top. And unfortunately, if you don't come to the coastal part of the Croatia, you can't try this type of food. And I should say that in this sense, we have a huge opportunity to for extend our offer. Then Strukli, something that is unsubscribed in the Register of Intangible Cultural Heritage of the Republic of Croatia. This is also a pastry filled with the cow cheese, and there are two ways of preparing it. You can boil it and eat it on a soup, and you can eat it in an oven, like not eat it in an oven, but you can put it in an oven and do it in this way. So there are two types, and this is something that is really typical for the region near Zagreb. It means for the Zagorje. This is something that is typical because this is the origins from this arambašići is made out of the Turks sarma. So it is cabbage filled with the different types of meat and some herbs, and then you put water and cook it. So this is something that this is Croatian way of preparing sarma that is typical for a typical dish of the Turks. Then green stew from Konavle. This is stew with cabbage, potatoes, and different types of meat, sausages, and usually pork. As you can see, also very simple ingredients. Then something that we took from the Austrian. This is the Zagreb schnitzel, and if you come to Zagreb, I live in capital, then you will definitely have the opportunity to try this schnitzel. It should be in original way. It is veal stuffed with the ham and the melted cheese. So it's kind of a variation of the Wiener Schnitzel from the Austria. And also here you can see this heart, red heart. This is something that is inscribed in the UNESCO list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, not the product itself. It's called licitarsko srce, but the preparation of it. But I will talk about it in a few more slides. Then šporke makaruli from Dubrovnik. It means dirty. Makaruli means pasta from Dubrovnik. Also, it's pasta with some kind of meat stew, and what's back there is that there were people who were important people in imam predavanje, kamera je upaljena. Who were in the history, like they were ruling the cities, like Dubrovnik. We had Dubrovačka Republika, and then they got the best part of the meat, and the rest, like small parts, were for their helpers, peasants. So it's meat like also for local people. Okay, corn flour zlemanka is something also typical for this continental part. It's really simple dish as well, with the corn flour and the cheese, and you can put the jam, you can put the honey on. It can be salty and it can be sweet. So this is something that you can try in this part of the Croatia where I live. Lika bread, it is made under the bell, on the open fire under the bell, and we call it peka, and this is really typical way of preparing food, not just bread as well, lamb, veal, seafood. So Čobanac, as I mentioned it, Čobanac is stew made out of the meat and the vegetables, and it should be cooked for a few hours, 3 to 4 hours. So this is something that is typical for the eastern part, and nice is that there are plenty of like fairs where they are cooking the Čobanac, and there you can taste it, and the judges are saying which one is the best and so on. But this is just a quick overview. As I mentioned, truffles, also asparagus, but not the grown one, but those who are picked in the woods. This is something that you can try in also in Istria, but also in the rest parts of the country. This is really nice nice dish. Usually they are preparing it with the eggs or with the ham, or I prepare it with tofu. Not typical, but I like it. Also, you can see here oranges, lemons, and mandarins in the valley of Neretva River. There are thousands and thousands of gorgeous trees who are getting the fruits out of those out of mandarins and lemons and oranges. So we are exporting mandarins all over the world, and gastronomy, not just gastronomy, but also wines are something that is really important for the Croatia, and we are promoting that as part of the something that is really important for attracting tourists to Croatia as a tourist destination. And also this, as I mentioned, literary, they are unsubscribed on the list of the actually the preparation of them is unsubscribed on the list of the intangible cultural heritage of UNESCO. So here you can see the photos. So it's like it's pastry, and they are making the hearts of those pastries. Then they are gluing them, putting them into the red color, and then decorating them. So it is also the souvenir, but you can also eat it. It doesn't mean that's it uneatable. It is definitely eatable. And actually, why I was telling all that, since Croatia has enormous amount of typical dishes, it should be much more implemented in the promotion of tourism product, because the Croatia is trying to disperse the season, and it's trying not to have such a focus on the summer season, which is really strong. we are trying to extend the season on the spring, autumn, and if it's possible on the winter as well. So the gastronomy really can help in that way. What the colleague and I did, we tried to find out how are the tourists aware of the intangible cultural heritage, and are they aware of the preparation of the Croatian food as part of this intangible cultural heritage? Actually, this was the bigger research. It was not just meant for the gastronomy, it was meant for the intangible cultural heritage in general. So, but for this event, I'm just focusing on the gastronomy, because intangible cultural heritage is something that is not so old. It was defined by UNESCO in 2003 as the practices, representations, expressions, knowledge, skills, also instruments, objects, artifacts, cultural spaces associated therewith that communicates groups and in some cases individuals recognized as part of the cultural heritage. So it means that it's not the material thing, it's how do we live, how do we act, how do we dance, how do we what do we wear as well. So, and also how do we prepare food, because the people are much more they're more and more interested in culinarity of the other nations. And what is also important is that culinarity is part of the cultural heritage, and actually 80% all tourists are cultural tourists, so we can't neglect that. And when we are talking about the intangible cultural heritage, we have the classification which says what is the intangible cultural heritage. Handcrafts and visual arts that demonstrate traditional craftsmanship, gastronomy and culinary practices, social practices, rituals and festive events, music and the performing arts, oral traditions and expressions, including language as a vehicle of intangible cultural heritage, and knowledge and practice concerning nature and the universe. So quite a lot of that. And we were focusing, as I said, on the gastronomy and culinary practices because they really contributes to the tourism product. And to them, really some countries, some tourist destination can can present their history, their identity, and they really can't be the one who will attract tourists to destination, because when we are traveling, we would like to learn something new. This is important, that we like to learn. This part of the education is something that is established in tourism. So when we are traveling, we are learning. So let's learn from other nations. So what we did the secondary research, of course, about the tourism and intangible cultural heritage, of course, about the gastronomy. Then we made a group interview with the experts from Zagreb Tourist Board. And then at the end, we did the survey, and we interviewed more than 600 tourists in Zagreb. We did the research in capital is Zagreb, and we were interviewing the tourists with a highly structured questionnaire, and it in total it had 31 questions, and actually 9 questions were related with the gastronomy. And we interviewed them in front of the most visited and most popular tourist attractions in the Zagreb. We collected 631 questionnaire, and we did, of course, some kind of the statistics. And what the data says that we have 53% of female and 46% of male. The majority of them were young people, 21 to 30 years old, more than 50%. Actually, the Zagreb is city break destination, so usually the people who are those who do the city breaks are younger ones. Also, majority were international tourists, 74%. 38% had bachelor degree, and less, and 23.5% had less than 500 euros income. Of course, it is consistent with the fact that they are young people and they don't earn a lot. And what we ask them about, what we try to find out their perception regarding the familiarities with 6 different categories of intangible cultural heritage. As you can see, 55% of them is completely unaware of the intangible cultural heritage of Croatia. And of those who are aware, they're mostly aware about the gastronomy and culinary practices. And actually, this is something that is nice to know. But on the other hand, it's not good. 55% of them is completely unaware that we have any kind of intangible cultural heritage. And each nation has plenty of intangible cultural heritage. Also, how are they familiar with the preparation of Croatian food? Only 30% of the respondents are familiar with the observed categories. So actually, not plenty of them are familiar with the preparation of Croatian food. Okay. It means young people don't cook, maybe, or they are not interested in the Croatian gastronomy. But this is something that is nice to see. There was a question, would they extend their stay in destination in the case that they can participate in some kind of the workshop that is related with the preparation of Croatian food. And actually 48%, so it means almost 50% of them said that yes, they would probably extend their stay in destination in order to consume this kind of product or participate in the workshop. So it really means that people like to learn, they like to observe, they like to participate, they want to be engaged in something. They don't want to be just the one who is walking by. They want to be part of it. So this is something that is important.
Petra, we have a question here, and we need to start thinking about wrapping up as well. So would you
Yeah,
like
this
to
is
take
just a
question?
conclusion. This is
Okay.
I have just a conclusion and that's it. Actually, I almost said everything. It is something that gastronomy can be the one that is attracting tourists to a tourist destination, and we need to put more attention on the on this kind of the tourist product to offer them the products where they can really participate in. So yeah, thanks. Question.
Okay. There is a question here. What resources does UNESCO have on intangible cultural heritage globally as well as in Croatia?
Sorry, is there somewhere where I can read the question, or?
Yes, if you click on chat at the bottom in the controls, you will see the chat messages appear.
Okay. Just a second. Okay, I can't see everything. I don't know why. Don't worry. Can
Scroll
you
down.
please? I can't. Something happened, and
Oh, okay. Okay,
I
so
can't do it.
the question was, what resources does UNESCO have on intangible cultural heritage, both around the world as well as in Croatia?
What resources? How does it look like? Well, there should be a national commission which says that some kind of the legacy material or intangible is something that really represents the nation, and we need to put it on the as government, as this board thinks that this is something that should be put on the under the list of the UNESCO. And there is a huge list of those who are waiting. There are a few different rules that need to this intangible or tangible cultural heritage needs to oblige. So if this heritage is under these rules, you can, of course, you need to write down all the stories about it, all the documents you have, like this commission is doing this, and you are coming to the UNESCO and proposing that intangible or tangible cultural heritage is something that is so important and it should be listed on the list. And there is, of course, waiting list, huge one. Few years maybe you will need to wait, because there are plenty of heritage that is there are plenty of the possible heritage that should be on the list, and they are evaluating all that. So they don't do it by themselves. There should be the committee which is proposing to them.
Okay, super. How can travel advisors get a list of the UNESCO intangible cultural heritage lists per country? Is there a published list somewhere?
Is there a published list? Yes, there can be. Some countries have published list, some don't. But on the list of the UNESCO, I think that you can find the one who are on the waiting list. Yeah, yes, I think so.
I'm just Googling this really quick. Yeah, so there is, all you need to do is Google that, but here, I'll put this in the chat. And so this is on the UNESCO website. If you look there, and it will tell you, yeah, you can search by year, by region of the world, by country, or more criteria. Excellent. Very, very helpful. Okay. Well, Go ahead, Petra.
I just want to say that I'm encouraging all of you that form this kind of the commission and do it. Because when I was in Indonesia, I was giving lectures there. And I was the first who tell them even that intangible cultural heritage is existing. They didn't know about that. They have plenty of great dishes. They have performances as so on, and they didn't know about that it is possible. There is just waiting list, but after the few years, it is something that become under the UNESCO. It becomes the UNESCO heritage. Yeah.
You know, I think the intangible cultural heritage list of products it's a way for tourists to kind of safely know that something is safe for them to eat, because you go to a new country, you don't know the cuisine. There's many different kinds of dishes. You're not sure what you should try. You know, am I going to like this or not? But if something's on a list like that, there's some kind of assurance or some kind of not a guarantee, but just something that says, you know, this is one of the country's best products, so you should try it. You're probably going to like it.
Definitely. You are sure with that.
Yeah. I use that a lot. Was it in Italy or somewhere where I was? And I just everything that I chose that was an ICH product was fantastic. So it's kind of like the slow food list of restaurants. They no longer do, but that was also a really good list of resources.
So all that you can see at my presentation are delicious. They are delicious. Even they're simple food. They are delicious because the ingredients are local.
Yeah, well, those pictures were mouth-watering. I definitely have not been to Croatia or Slovenia, two countries I'd love to go to, and also to try your wines as well as your food, and it all looks fantastic. So Petra, when I come, I'm going to have to let you know, and we'll go out for a meal, and I'll thank you for your time today. How does that sound?
Great, I like it.
Good. All right. Well, we need to wrap up and get ready for our next session. The next session starts in about 30 minutes, so 30 minutes after the hour. So it's an unusual start time. And the next session is going to be the Caribbean Wellness Journey, drawing on their agricultural heritage for Antigua and Barbuda, an island nation in the Caribbean. So it should be a fascinating session. So Petra, thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Lovely.
And listening.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thanks.